Hello and welcome to the Arena Sports Show. My name is Clauiee Grace Mpanza, known as Legs of Thunder Jr. Absolutely excited to have you alongside us in this exciting episode where we have someone who is not a stranger. I'm going to start with him because at this point, you might as well grab a chair and, of course, join us for the rest of the Arena Sports Show. It is Musi Matlaba, performance analyst, who joins us. And, of course, number one Tsotsi, Abednego Netshodwe, also is alongside him. And my favorite influencer, Mahlatse Mphahlele. Gentlemen, hello. How are you guys doing? We'll start with you, influencer.
Yeah, good. Fine.
Sorry, I forget your nickname, because I don't recognize it personally. So
Can I tell you?
I don't want to.
They call me Zizo.
Do you
After
believe it?
Zinedine, and that Zizo is after Zinedine Zidane.
Musi, do you believe it?
Because
I plead the fifth.
and it's because and it's not because of my receding headline. It's because of
The touches.
But fair enough, all three of you don't have a hairline.
Life happened.
Wow.
I can tell.
Wow.
But Musi, I mean, you saying that, of course, you are known as the hacker in the Middle East. Talk to us about that nickname. I find it quite intriguing.
I just think it's because, of the work I do. And I guess guys see me maybe with a laptop every now and then.
Yeah.
But it's just from analysis. I guess they've used that as a nickname.
Number one, Tsotsi. You're good with yours?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. And the number one thought is we're playing Mamelodi Sundowns. They give me one yellow card. After that, I tackle another player. I go to the referee, I push him, I set him. When I go after the game, Dr. Ivan called me saying, from today you are number one thought.
Iron Duke gave you that nickname. Oh, that's top tier.
So you've always been on the dodgy side of things.
No, definitely love that. But a lot is also happening in the world of sports. So let's quickly find out what's in your top stories.
Matlaba Stadium in Polokwane will host the crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier between Bafana Bafana and Kwasafa neighbor Lesotho next month. In a statement that is going to get football lovers talking, former Orlando Pirates and Morocco Swallows star midfielder Aubrey Senzo-Lekwani says his teammate Mpheni Home was better than Kaizer Chiefs superstar Dr. Khumalo. New Zealand beat Proteas in an impressive 6 wickets during their Tri-Nations Series fixture at the FNB Stadium in Lahore, Pakistan on Monday.
Well, with a lot happening, it always makes it quite difficult to choose star of the week. Musi, we'll start with you. You know the order. Who has impressed you?
Yeah, for me it's Harry Kane, the greatest footballer never to win a trophy.
That is true.
I think he's had a really good season again.
Yeah.
Scored 2 penalties over the weekend. That put him on 21 goals, 19 games in the league, and he's got 7 in 7 in the Champions League. So he's doing better than a goal a game.
For sure. And you know who has impressed you?
Yeah, if you can see along the Pirate midfielder, Makhaula.
Cash.
Yeah.
Class.
What cash, no deposit. I think if he's lucky, he'll go to AFCON cash.
No, he should. I think he's
I
he's
think so,
really deserving. And I mean, we'll get to unpack him and his performance at Pirates in just a bit. Who has impressed you, influencer?
Yeah, I'm going to surprise you. I'll go with the men's hockey side. They finished, they got bronze at the Indoor Hockey World Cup in Croatia. Usually the so-called smaller sports don't get their time under the sun, but I think they've done well. These are people who sometimes pay for themselves to go to tournaments and stuff, and I think it's a remarkable achievement from South Africa, from the guys, and we say good on to the boys.
We definitely do. I thought the surprise was going to be Kaizer Chiefs because they actually won over the weekend, but we'll stick with the men's
One winning year and then you are celebrating like you won a trophy. No, we are not going there.
Oh, you're not impressed by that victory?
Nah. Well, it's a win. It's a 3 points, but
Calma.
easy.
You know everything about Calma.
Calma.
But I mean, then to talk about the Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates encounter, I mean, we were expecting a tactical game, and the scoreline, not what a lot of people expected, Musi. A 4-1 throttling, of course, and the defending champions reminding us why they're champions. I mean, currently the talk as well is to, of course, the possibly player of the season in Ribeiro. What have you made of him?
I think he's a fantastic player, and I think the country and the fans have warmed up to him, and he's warmed up to them likewise. I think one thing that makes him so good, apart from the fact that he's really good at finishing, is the ability to play multiple positions across the front line. You know, he's a striker, he's a 10, he's a winger, and it's very difficult to close him down. And players who understand space are just difficult to deal with. He understands space, he understands timing, and that just makes him a killer in the final third, basically.
It definitely does. And I think, Nino, you mentioned, of course, Cash, but you look at, of course, his performance and really the partnership with Talente, because without Mbata, it seemed quite difficult. As much as, yes, KB did try, and he was also impressive in his own right, but he's not a defensive player. More than anything, he's more offensive. So talk to us about that pairing alongside Cash with Mbata, but then you can start, of course, with Cash.
Yeah, if you can see, especially in the middle, Makhaula and Mbata, because was not the talent was not there. That boy Dlamini is not a defensive midfielder. Is number 10. But if you can see the game, it was more at the back. Makhaula was pushing too much, and if you can see Ambulance at Timbisa, Tito was playing wide. He's supposed to come in the wide, not wide, to the half space. Because if you can see, if the goal for Sundowns, that ball on the left back, Marco, was going, and the ambulance of Tembisa was wide. He's supposed to come inside, so that boy must go and overlap.
And I mean, influencer, then when you look into also, you've complained about this in terms of events also happening at the stadium, and you also look into the quality of the pitch, which we saw Orlando Pirates players also slipping quite a lot, because there was an event prior to that encounter. We've seen it at old Peter Mokaba Stadium, where there will be an event, then they can't use the old Peter Mokaba old one, and you have to use the new one. So talk to us also about managing the stadium in terms of looking out for the players.
Yeah, Loftus has always been tricky. I remember a few months ago they relayed the whole pitch, and at that time they said they are doing something new of putting synthetic and natural grass together, and it will improve. But it's tricky in the sense that it's a rugby stadium. The Bulls plays their matches there, and the sort of the requirements for rugby and football are not quite the same. But that's not an excuse. It has been good before. And for a big match like that, it deserved to be played on a better pitch. Even though the pitch was not good, I think the boys stepped up, and it was still a very good game of football, despite the fact that the pitch was not good. You can imagine what they could have been able to put out there if the pitch was good. That's one thing. The other thing you touched on, the issue of safety and security. It's a worry. I mean, I was at the Soweto Derby, where we were sitting in the media box. People were jumping over, coming to come and sit with us there. It was just so many people inside the stadium. There's definitely more people than what was supposed to be in there. And the same thing happened at Loftus. Too many people there. I think we need to really look into this thing of crowd control in our country, because, God forbid, but I just fear that one day we're going to have a problem, because we're not managing it properly. We've got a big game coming now on the 1st of March between Sundowns and Chiefs. I don't know where that game is going to be played, because Blues are playing at Loftus on the same day. If you take it to Moripe, it's a smaller stadium, you really need to make sure that the controls around security are proper, so that you don't have too many people there. I hope they are planning around that one, because really something bad is going to happen, and we don't want that.
And, also on that note, I mean, Musi, just to bring it in, you look at the fact that when you're looking into Mamelodi Sundowns, I remember there's an iconic interview, Mahlatse, you love it all the time. Peter Msimane once said that, aren't you tired of watching us play? We also want a break. And I bring this up because you listen to Coach Miguel Cardoso, saying that we literally only had 20 minutes to train and prepare for Orlando Pirates. So you know all too well about a busy schedule. Talk to us about what goes into a team where time is limited, but there's so much football that needs to happen. Yeah.
So firstly, I'd say pressure is a privilege, right? So being in that position where you're playing every 3 days means you're doing something right. It means you're involved in multiple competitions. It means you're playing at the highest level. So I think, obviously I'm not with the team, but I think that you prioritize putting the best players on the pitch for the game. And if that means you take a little bit of time off of training and rather use maybe video as your training tool, that is also another way to get around it, because rest in itself is part of training. So as long as they can manage that well, they shouldn't have a problem. They've got a decent enough squad to navigate the games. And even with the Nedbank game coming up, they've got, you know, a lesser team where maybe squad rotation is a bit more possible, and you can rest those who have been playing quite a lot.
Musi, maybe just to add there also, now how does, I mean, I see even Coach Mangoa was doing it a lot, rotating players too much. When you talk about pressure being a privilege, some of the players prefer to play consistently, even if there's too many matches. They get withdrawn if they're not playing one game and often. How do you manage that of players who wants to play all the time, but the coach feels they must rest?
Yeah, I wouldn't say rotating every game, a player in and out is beneficial, but players also have to understand, I mean, if you play 3 games in 10 days, you resting one game, you might, maybe you feel it's to your detriment or it's breaking up your momentum, but again, that's why they have physios, they have sports scientists, they have biokinetists, they have players, medical staff, because managing your body is top priority in professional sports. And unfortunately, players will play every game until they break down. And it's up to those who have studied in those fields to be able to control the load that players take. So it's inevitable that players won't like it, but it's a necessity.
And then from you as a player, I know when you were playing, the schedule was not as heavy as it was now, but you know, you guys wanted to play all the time.
All the time, yeah. The problem is if the team doesn't have enough depth, it's a problem. And as players, we want to play every game, but sometimes we lose form, fatigue. You see, and the way Musi is talking, rest is very important. But some of the players, they are not resting. After training, they're going to the malls.
They are running around.
They are running around and they are playing a big team. As we're still playing, we never go to the mall when we're playing, especially Sundowns Chiefs. You know, even supporters are getting you at the mall. Say, hey, what are you doing here? We're playing a big game. Go and rest. But nowadays, these boys, they are going all over the malls, every mall, the Clan, Southgate, they don't rest.
It's interesting you say that. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was sharing that there's a time where he approached Tepo, who used to play for Chiefs, saying that, no, you guys are upsetting us as Chiefs fans when you go to the walls, because now you've got the access. Did you ever have an encounter where a fan came to you and was like, dog, we as Lisa, we're not happy?
Yeah, I remember, but I won't mention the name. I remember we're playing Chiefs. Chiefs beat us 2-0. I was going with my friend. He said, let's go to Mabaleng. Do you know Mabaleng? To buy some Red Bull. I said, my brother, I won't go there because we lost. People are crossed. That man who went to the shop, he said to me, he was running. He said, hey, start the car. But they slap him. True story. Yeah, because some fans sometimes are petty. You see. And they're taking this serious. Some players that don't take Davi serious.
Sure, that is absolutely insane. Hard luck to the friend. But I mean, Musi, when you talk then about squad depth, right? We know Mamelodi Sundowns has it. When you look into the Pirates side, you look at the depth, you look at the bench also over the Sundowns game, and you think, as much as, yes, it's the youngsters, they're exciting, but that seniority and that experience is something that looks like it might be lacking at Pirates.
So the thing is, I guess nobody knows the Pirates squad better than Pirates, you know, and if they felt they have sufficient to get through the load of playing Champions League and Nedbank, and then maybe they're in the best position to decide that. But again, you'd always want to look at the bench and say, you know, we have 3-4 players that we know consistently can come off the bench to help the team take it up maybe in the last 20 minutes. But yeah, I think with the increasing number of games, you really have to take squad depth into consideration. And squad depth is not only numbers, it also relies on quality as well.
And I mean, you know all too well, you look at the defense line of Orlando Pirates, Clauiee CBC, and as much as, yes, from where they came from, quality, but now they don't seem to understand each other. Hence, Asisane can come in and he's more impactful than the experienced skippers.
Because if if you can say Pirate, Pirate is a big team, and not every player can play for Pirate. That batch is very heavy. If you can see Kogi and Sibisi, both of them, they are captains.
Yeah.
And the way Pirate is legging the leader. No one is controlling. I can give you example, Benny one was still playing. He was the leader, Lekwati, many Happy Chele.
Yeah.
But those guys, they are not talking. If you can see the game for Sundowns, the way we lost, they leave the striker coming inside. No one is running with him. No one is talking. Hey, go with him. Even that free kick, when they score Sundowns, the first goal,
Yeah.
you can see. In the box, you can't leave the player. Man to man. We used to do that
Yeah.
but nowadays, they say they are playing modern football. It's the same thing.
Modern football influence.
Talking about leaders, there was a moment on Saturday at Loftus that I noticed. A lot of people might have missed it. There was a time when the ball went out and Alende, Debza stood there talking. You can see maybe they were sensing something in the match. You know, when they went to talk to other players separately, you know, and then you can see that the tempo of the match is going up. Is that leadership quality that you need? That you don't only need, you know, like the designated captain to be able to take charge of situations on the field when it's hot out there. You need good leaders. Sometimes I've got Alende, I've got Debza. They've got Ronwen,
well,
you know, so that's the part of the leadership group where if they feel something is not happening on the pitch, they will do it. I mean, at against Supersport, on the 30th minute, things were not going well for Sundowns. And then Ronza went to sit down. He sat down, you know, then the medical people came onto the pitch. All the players ran to the coach. The coach organized. Is the experience also of playing in the Champions League that if maybe something is not clicking, we have to do something so that the players must go to the coach, get new instructions, and then we move again. So the leadership is very important. I'm not saying Paris doesn't have, but they don't have that caliber of the leaders they used to have before. You can go back to Nick Sishweni, Potso Makanya. No, those were very, very imposing figures that were in charge of the game, Edward Motale and them. But I think it's one of the things which they need to work on. They will improve because also they've got a lot of younger players who need constant reminding of why they are there and how to behave themselves.
So question to the three of y'all. Do we then say leaders are made or leaders are born, looking at the situation at Pirates? Anyone can take a jab at it first.
No, leaders are born.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
So when you look into the Pirate squad, you think that, okay, then there needs to be more leaders brought into the camp because what they have currently is not the leaders that you would need at Orlando Pirates.
You don't have it. Even, you say, that boy, they call it number one, so he's not playing now. He's injured.
Yeah.
He's the captain of Orlando Pirates.
Mahela. Yeah.
To me, he's not a leader.
Really?
Yeah. And
Yeah, because
he's
it's
always
another
injured. You see, when things are not going well, the way Mahlatse is talking, call the players and talk to them. It's not about the coach. Coach doesn't see. Coach is 30%. 70% is the players.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's why he's saying, I mean, if I think maybe also you can't have a captain who's not playing. Because he's the designated captain, he's the leader of the team, and he's not playing. Sometimes he's not even a 20, he's sitting on the stands. I think also they've got guys there who are senior, they've got experience, but they need to step up. Koki must step up, Makhaula must step up, Sipo China must step up, Sibisi must step up. These are Bafana players. Step up and lead this team in the right direction. And as I said, I'm not saying they're doing a bad job in it, but they can be better because you need a strong leadership group, especially when you've got a number of young players who are coming through. So that you can guide them to so that they go in the right direction.
Musi, you've worked with injured players before, right? And we've seen Innocent Maela as well. And bumping into him press conferences. He does a lot of the interviews currently. How do you deal with a player like that? As much as, yes, you need to be positive, but also there's that element where they also want to go back to play.
I think any player who's not playing, not only injured players, you have to stay sharp, especially, obviously, if you can't do it physically, you have to do it intellectually.
Yeah.
You have to watch the game, picture yourself in the position of the guy who's playing, where you're playing, think of solutions of what you would do in certain situations, and obviously then try work hard as you can to get back on the pitch. It's not easy also for players to be injured, because no player wants to be injured. Every player wants to be on the pitch playing, and to some players, to their own detriment, they might come back too early and get hurt even worse.
Yeah.
And some players, depending on the injury, are reluctant to come back because mentally they're scared of getting injured again. So being outside the pitch is a very difficult thing. But again, like I think Arsene Wenger said it when he said, your best ability is availability. You know?
All right, drops mic.
I know today.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, influencer, when we then talk about, the tactical fluidity, especially at the Mamelodi Sundowns perspective, the number of times that they changed their formation. Talk to us about what you saw from them, because you were at the stadium, what we might have missed as well.
Yeah, I guess also it's just more about coaching, really. This guy is not scared to change. Again, SuperSport, they replaced the guy in the first half. And they came back and I think they scored 2 or 3 more goals. They were much better, they were much sharper against Pirates. There was a time when he changed the system completely. Reyners was on the wing, Shaulile was on the other wing, and Ribeiro was the number 9.
Yeah.
You have to have that adaptability as a coach. He's not rigid. He moves things around, and one of the important weapons I think he's going to have going forward is this boy from Stellenbosch. I think there's something there.
Adams.
Jaden Adams. He's bringing something different to the team, even though on the other end it may mean that we're going to see less and less of Tambazona when he comes back, because they play in the same number 10 position. But he's got something there, and I think the coach has got a structure now. He's got a team. You can almost predict what he's going to play if he does not change too much. So, in terms of tactics and that kind of thing, I think they outplayed Pirates. The Pirates coach did admit that Pirate team won on the day, and they're scoring goals. The last 3 matches they've scored 11 goals. Sometimes they score, even Shaluli and Reiner are not scoring. There are goals everywhere from that side, and it's frightening what they have. I looked at the bench. You have Onyango, you have got Mahema, you have got
different team.
So there's depth. There's depth, and that's what you need. This Sundowns team is a Champions League team. It's not really necessarily a league team. They have to win the league, of course, but the big fish is Champions League, and hopefully they will continue to do well in the Champions League.
Musi, I want to talk about Peter Shalulile a little bit. In this game, you saw how he would drop low to help the team defend. Talk to us about him as a player. As much as, yes, he might not be scoring, but he brings so much more to the Sundowns side. Yeah,
I think that's not only a Shalulile thing. I think it's a team thing. You can see when a group works collectively. Yeah. If you look at the second goal that they scored against Pirates, 8 players were defending just within the perimeter of the box, which means either Shalulile or Reyners has to come back to defend, who are part of your attack. So they understand that in any situation, or depending on what the situation is, you may be required to fulfill a different task. And it's not necessarily a Sundowns thing. If you look at Real Madrid, if you look at Barca, the players come back to defend, which I think is a mentality players, especially the younger players, have to understand today, that you're just as important in defense as you are in attack. And for Sundowns, the key thing is when you look at Shalulile, Reyners, and Ribeiro, all 3 are strikers, but all 3 have a secondary position. Shalulile can play on the wing, Reyners can play on the wing, Ribeiro can play as a 10. So within the 3 of them, they can occupy 6 positions on the pitch. And even if they play a 4-3-3, depending on who's in which position, it means the 4-3-3 is actually different. So the same shape can come, but with different personnel, it brings different challenges to the opponents.
And then, Nino, you look into an Orlando Pirates side. I mean, you listen to what Musi's saying and you think, sure, depth and the ability to play a secondary position. When you look into the Pirates side, you don't get that much. I mean, we speak about KB and how, yes, he will pinpoint a pass, and he's brilliant in that. But I tell him to mark, the boy won't mark for you. Like, he fails in that department. So now, longevity, when you look into this Pirates side and the number of cups that they have. Yes, Coach Jose believes that they will be there until the end. But now, when you're picking up injuries along the way, what does that do for Pirates?
Yeah, if you can see Pirates, the way he's playing, really, Nkota, according to my perception on that game, we were short with this young boy, Saling. So if Saling was there, I think Pirate will...
Who is Saling then? Do you know who he is?
No, I don't know. And other thing...
No problems there.
No problems.
Yeah, serious problems.
What problems? Sorry, yes.
You know football.
But other thing on that Pirate team, on the day, even if they give us 3 hours, we won, I don't think we will win that game.
Sure.
The way Sundowns was prepared. They wanted more than us. Yeah, and especially in the middle, the way Musi is talking on that goal. The way Matlaba was holding the ball, it was too slow. The way they are pressing, counter-pressing that one. They were too slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tactical discipline. Tactical discipline. If you see that goal, Marco was going up, the right back was going up.
Yeah.
Makhaula was there inside the box. There's no one in the middle. Toki was there, and Toki and CBC, they were there.
For sure.
Yeah. Sundowns, they press the ball. After that, they punish us.
And then...
But they're supposed to hold someone.
Yeah.
Just with foul.
You take it for the team,
Take
eh?
it for the team.
No, that is
Yeah, because
true.
you can't allow a guy
You can't allow the guy to run.
Score goals, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You know.
Even I could do that, right?
I do that all the time.
You do it all the time. But Influencer, when you flip the script a little bit, Polokwane City, then they lose to Richards Bay. Talk to us about that. I mean, you've been vouching for Polokwane City and how impressed you have been by them this season.
Yeah, I've been, you know, I've had some good things to say about Coach Putti. I think it's one of the brightest coaches we have in the country. I just feel, you know, for him, maybe at some stage he will need to leave Polokwane City. I just don't think the environment is like, you know.
Where would you place him?
I mean, look. Go to a bigger club, you know. I think if he, even if for his development, he were to leave and become an assistant coach elsewhere, at a, you know, with due respect, but I mean at a better club, you know. Polokwane City are doing well now, but I mean, if we are to be honest, really, I don't think there will be a consistent team that plays like that for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, we may see them fighting relegation next season, depending on what happens in the transfer market. But he's a
Should
good
he maybe
coach.
go help Gavin Hunt?
Well, you know, you'll never know. He's really, when you speak to him, you have a sense that he's a guy who, he says the right things, he's a student of the game, he watches a lot of football. I had a talk with Marema, the captain, at one of the Nedbank Cup press conferences. He speaks very highly of him. He's a person who's meticulous. Also, there's not enough support around him to really be able to do the stuff that he wants to do.
Yeah.
They've punched above their weight to be where they are now. I mean, if you compare them in Chiefs in terms of resources, it's chalk and cheese, but look at what they're doing. Of course, they may not be able to sustain it, but they are there now. We don't know what's going to happen into the future. So, yeah, inconsistency will be there if you don't really have the necessary quality that you have.
Yeah.
You know, our policy is still there, at least they manage to hold on to him, but I just feel they're not going to be able to hold on for him for too long because a big club will come and take him. But the chairman has been very strong that they must meet this valuation of the player.
For sure.
And that's how it is in the transfer market. Matuludi will probably leave. One or two other players will probably leave during the transfer market, and they'll have to start from scratch again. But they've done well, and you know, we have to praise them as where they are now. And I'm really a big fan of the coach. He was not a big player in his day, but he has done very well as a coach. And we have to support him. He's a young Black South African coach.
And then, you know, I mean, we talk about Kaizer Chiefs and, of course, the major celebrations that they had at the Donny Craven Stadium against Stellenbosch, right? And it was such a great time for them. They were happy to get 3 points. Talk to us about Kaizer Chiefs, what you've made of them, and really the youngsters in their side, the squad that you've seen this season.
Yeah, Kaizer Chiefs, they've been long not winning. That's why they were celebrating. See, but I saw them playing against Pirate. It's a better team now, to be honest. They are playing good football. The coach is still cooking. They say still cooking. I don't know, those food will be nice, or I don't know when.
Maybe come hold.
You see, it's taking time. When you build, you take time. You see, still building. You can't just build and still trying the coach. Let's give him a chance. I think maybe after 4 years, 5 years, Chiefs will be okay.
That's too long,
Isn't that too long?
It's too long. It's a big team, but they're still building. Even these youngsters, they are coming all right, these youngsters. But Chiefs is a big team. You don't want to, we can't build. Just buy quality players. After that, promote these youngsters 4-3, it's okay.
Just to add on Chiefs, I think one of the things that they must...
You love adding on Chiefs, by the way. just to say, but continue.
Okay, I know.
No.
I think they must take advantage of the internal good spirit that is there now. They've made some very good signings. Tele, he looks like a very good player. Lilepo, Tasrit Morris on the few matches he has played, he looks like maybe he can come in. I don't think he's a 15 a season striker, but he can chip in here and there. He's a player who, when he's there, the opposition defenders knows that there's somebody. He's got a presence. So that normally when players come to an environment, it sort of uplifts the whole squad, and they need to take advantage of that. This Lilepo, he looks like there's something. Musi knows him very well, having played against him on a number of occasions. I think he can give us a little bit more about him. But I think they are not quite a championship side. They just need to fight to make sure that they finish third and they go to the Confed Cup.
So you think third is possible?
Third is possible, yes, because if you look at the teams that are above them are not consistent. They just need to find consistency, win 3-4 matches in a row, and then get going. And they can do that. They do have quite enough to fight for third. They can get third, and it's very important for them to go to Africa to be in the Confed Cup, because the Confed Cup also, if you play it nicely, Chiefs can win it if they really go there and be smart.
Pirates went to the finals the year, I think 2 seasons back. So
they lost to Barkani in the final, Pirates.
So
I mean, Pirates are in the group of Champions League. I didn't give them a chance, but they will do it. But they are there, Sundowns are there, so anything is possible. They just need to box smart, get consistency, because this thing of winning and losing and losing, it doesn't really help. And can you imagine if we have got Sundowns, Chiefs, Pirates, and somebody else in Africa? It's good for the game, and also in the bigger picture, it's good for the national team. Then Hugo Bruce can pick from Chiefs, can pick from Pirates, can pick from Sundowns, and somebody else. Currently now we hardly get players from Bafana and from Chiefs, and they're missing out on a lot of experience in the continent. Players like Chabalala, Vilagazi, they need to play Champions League.
You are so passionate. Thank you, Musi.
I'm going to keep quiet now because
there was a lot of heart in there.
Also, they attacked me. Maybe Musi can give us a bit about Lilepo.
What have you made of Kaizer Chiefs?
Yeah, I think for me, Mahlatse is spot on with what he said. And another benefit of playing in Africa is you get to see those players from smaller leagues, potentially, and even from North Africa. If you look at the rate between the South African rand and the Egyptian pound, the South African rand has gotten so much stronger and the Egyptian pound has gone down. So potentially Egyptian players you can bring to South Africa, The player that he was talking about now, Lilepo, we played against him when we were still at Vita. You know, he was playing alongside another winger, Kisinda. Those two wingers were, for me at that time, they were so good. Probably the best, one of the best combinations in Champions League at the time.
Sure.
You know, you get exposed to those players when you play in that competition. And when I saw Chiefs sign him, I was actually happy because of the thoughts I've had when we played against him with Al Ahly and with Sundowns, you know. So there's many players like that. I mean, if you play against, even when he was at Al Hilal, he was looking really good. And Al Hilal itself has such good players in the team. I don't know how Abdurrahman still plays for Al Hilal. But, you know, Confed, on the other hand, also has its challenges. It's more games, which means your squad has to increase, which means the depth of your squad and quality has to increase as well, which brings another challenge to itself. But a Sundowns, Chiefs and Pirates playing continental is only good for South African football.
I completely agree. And just quickly, let's look into the Nedbank Cup last 16. We'll start with you know. Orlando Pirates hosting Baroka. Your expectations, especially after what you've seen over the weekend against Sundowns. I was listening to my gents. My gents was like, no. Pirates is going to bounce back. It's going to completely forget this defeat.
You see, Pirates is a big team.
Yeah.
We can't lose 2 games in a row. This Baroka is a good team. It's from lower division, NFD. But Pirates will win that game so that they can gain confidence going forward.
Any changes that you might see, bearing in mind, of course, what we saw? I mean, Razabuja, do you bring him on? Does he start a game like Baroka?
Yeah, coach will change the team because we want to give others a chance so that they can gain confidence, momentum. You see, because it's a smaller team, Baroka. We are not Chiefs because if you see those small Chiefs, those small teams playing against bigger teams, no one is motivating them. They're already motivated.
Mara, what happened to Magezi?
You know, Baroka.
Hey, Baroka.
And Baroka always have 2-3 players that you don't know about.
Exactly.
Who, you know,
He will give you a proper run for your money.
Yeah, because a match like that is very tricky. These small teams can, but I mean, Pirates should be good enough to beat. And also, you are not going to struggle with their videos and stuff. In the NFD, so they'll prepare. They'll have enough to prepare. They should be able to beat.
All right, let's see, influencer. We have Hart talking about Mamelodi Sundowns against Mpheni Home Defenders. Your expectations in that encounter? I mean, yes, you've mentioned Sundowns scoring goals, which you've seen, but against a side like, of course, a lower tier, do you expect double figures?
Well, double figures may be a bit of a stretch. I saw them in the last round against the Sibanye something.
Yeah.
At some stage, that match was 3-2.
Yeah.
And those boys, they were coming. And, you know, at some stage, the camera zoomed into the coach, and I could see the coach is scared. Because that was going to be an embarrassment of epic proportions if they lost to that team. But the experience always comes through. They came through and then they easily beat. It will be the same with this. They will beat this small team. Sundowns should not be worried much about it. And I'm sure the coach will change. Will change players like Kovamelo and Tiwani and all these other so-called French players. Should be good enough to beat this team. But you have to prepare. You have to be serious.
Yeah.
You have to be professional, because if you're not, they will embarrass you, these people. Small teams are very dangerous. You must go and ask the...
No, you can also ask the
You must go and ask the... They've been embarrassed before.
On your side, it's Kaizer Chiefs and Chippa. Going into, of course, a Kaizer Chiefs side that's been so inconsistent, where you don't know which Chiefs side is really going to show up. But do you expect them to advance to the next level, or can Chippa have an upper hand in this one?
Yeah, I think this game, along with the Gallants and Amazulu game, are probably the games that you can't call. I think the Chiefs game, especially with Chippa, I think the last 5 games, 2 wins each and a draw. And both teams have won away and at home in those wins. So Chippa's been known to have brilliant performances every now and then. You can guarantee Chippa is going to give you a really good game every month.
Yeah.
You know, and you just hope it's not against you.
True.
You know, so I really don't know this game. I think obviously everybody wants the bigger teams to make it through so that you can have good semi-finals and a good final, you know, with a packed stadium.
Especially the sponsors.
Especially the sponsors.
Yeah.
But I think if Chiefs had to choose, they probably wouldn't have chosen to play Chippa. I don't think so. So it's a very tough one, but I still think Chiefs will come through. I know they've been inconsistent, but I feel like they need to break the drought of not winning a trophy, and maybe a cup is a good way to do that.
Might be the Nedbank Cup.
You never know.
You never know.
Never know.
At the last draw, I was part of the people who were putting the balls in there.
Ah, really?
I managed to separate the big teams. So maybe they must call me.
Some balls are hot,
So maybe they must call me again. I was.
So we must thank
Especially,
you for this.
yeah, you must thank me. I gave you guys separated the big teams, especially Pirates, Sundowns teams goes through. Keep them apart.
Yeah.
We need the hot semi-final and final. We need because sometimes in a cup, it's quite. I don't know. Disappointing is the right word. It's quite deflating when Pirates and Sundowns are playing in the last 16.
Yeah.
You know, a big game is gone. You know, you want them like last season. Desperate, let's go. Wafa, you know. Hopefully, but I mean, at the rate they are going now with the way the tournament is going, you know, hopefully one of the three will make it to the final. Then it makes it nice. It's the best way with a Nedbank to close the season with a big team.
And I'm happy Sundowns is still there, Pirate is still there. We'll get them again.
Oh, you want
I will get them.
And you know, and don't take it lightly what he says, because
We'll get them.
Pirates
Yeah.
in cup competitions are like Al-Ahly in the Champions League.
Yes,
Pirates in the cup, they'll beat you.
yes.
Yeah.
They'll beat you in the cup final. They just rise to the occasion. You saw Mufugeng was not there.
Yeah.
Give him a cup final. He will deal with you.
No, it will show up all of them. But Tito,
Tito will be the best thing that you've ever seen in the final.
But talk to us, guys. I mean, maybe Nino, you can touch on this one. Tito, what have you made of him? Because I see a lot of people also coming to him on social media saying that maybe consistency.
Yeah, Tito, and I think that boy is lacking discipline. I don't know him very much, but the way I see him from distance,
Yeah.
is a good player. When he's ready to play, you can see he can play the boy.
Yeah.
I think maybe something is disturbing him. I don't know what is that, but you can see him.
Okay.
But
You
I
want me
know
to
when you throw Sundowns again, I'm telling you, Tito will show them.
You want me? You
Ask
want me to
Chiefs.
I want you to comment. I'll just.
I once interviewed Coach Paul Doleza about he was being linked with Bafana. Or he was being asked to talk about Bafana. So I asked him, Coach, what do you think of Bafana? He says, me, I talk about Bafana. I hammer everyone. So you know my feeling about it. I think I agree with Abednego. I think he's a typical South African footballer. You can go back, Skaram Gobese, you can go back a young Steve Lekulia, you know, even Sheikh Skungwani, maybe the late, you know, expressive, extremely talented.
Yeah.
My thing with him, having watched him over and over and over again, I think he over-elaborates. Sometimes Pirates at the best of times, they're a fast-moving team, and he would get a ball and slow them down unnecessarily. If when they move and they're in a rhythm, you know, talent is moving, Makhaula is moving, Van Rooyen is moving, whoever is on the left is moving.
Yeah.
They are attacking and they're pressing teams and they are dangerous. He slows them down, and you know he does that thing of dancing, and it's nice for the fans, but you are affecting the team. And if you look at these numbers closely, second assists and goals, they are not that good for somebody who plays in that advanced position.
Yeah.
You should be, the numbers must be more. So if he was a deadly offensive player, he can be very, very dangerous. And sometimes also he kills Mufugeng, because Mufugeng wants the balls there. The guys, they want service, and you don't give enough service. And his job is a playmaker. He must make them play. Sometimes he's just joking there, dancing and doing all the stuff. And I mean, that's the only critic I have about him. But he's a talented footballer.
Okay, I'm glad you're ending on a positive. Thank you.
I've said this over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And my view will not change about it.
Musi, what I want to find out from you, I mean, when you look into the league and how exciting it is, you have a Stellenbosch who we always get excited to watch. Supersport, there's always excitement, but then you also never sure if Supersport is going to show up. And that is also because, of course, the injuries that they get throughout the season. What have you made of the excitement throughout the league and really the talent? I mean, now you're talking about a Gallant and Amazulu. We don't know what to expect between the two. So that shows that, of course, teams are also showing up. So Kukuna United, when you look into their players that they have, you think, my goodness, that's pure quality. So it shows that the other teams as well are trying to catch up with the Mamelodi Sundowns and the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, just starting off with Kukune, when you look at their last lineups for over the last 3 seasons, they've had really decent squads, you know. Also, the kind of caliber of players they've been able to recruit shows you that it's possible to get sort of the top tier of players in South Africa. I think clubs need to exhaust Africa, especially Africa, I mean the COSAFA region, and maybe Central Africa in bringing players, because we have the position of having the best league. We're in a position where we can bring players, not necessarily, you don't have to bring players from South America or whatever, but within Africa you can find really good players. And I think it's important for those teams to find those players in order to close the gap, you know. It's okay if you want to be a number 6 and number 7 every season, but if you want to be a number 4 and number 3, you have to take steps to either have a good academy and produce players like Stellenbosch do, or you have to be finding and scouting really good players, you know. So I think it's very important that the teams do both of those, or at least one very well to close that gap.
Musi is very right. Look at where are most of the Stellenbosch players in the league? They're all over the place.
True.
Because of their producing. And when the player leave, they just replace quite easily. They don't have a problem. Of course, they won't be quite the same. I mean, if you check the players are at Sundowns and Pirates, and if they were still there at Stellenbosch, they'll probably be good enough to be able to challenge for the league. Talking about Kukune, there's another player who, obviously I'm not jinxing him, but I just feel...
Oh, I feel like you're going to jinx him. Don't tell us.
if he doesn't step up now, he will probably sit back 10 years from now with a lot of regret. It's Sipombuli. An outrageously talented footballer. But he doesn't have that thing. It's this South African mentality of
what
players.
Is that thing?
You need to have the X factor.
I think it's professionalism.
You must be professional, yes.
You know, if you look at him and the crop of players he came up with, obviously the direct comparison is with Mokoena, and their careers are on completely opposite paths, you know. And you cannot say it's the opportunities; they have the same opportunities.
It's true.
You know. And I'll always come back to a player like Percy, a player like Zungu, a player like Keegan, who, once they got to that moment, the decision is, I'm going to be professional and serious about this thing, or I'm okay where I am. And the problem with I'm okay where I am is you trickle down, because you will go from a Pirates, a Chiefs, a Sundowns to a lower, I'll call it a smaller team, and after that you're going to trickle to another smaller team, and after that you're forgotten.
It's finished.
Yeah.
Now, if Mbule goes back to Sundowns, where is he going to play? He's never going to play that team. You still have Tembas one who's going to have to fight for that position at that side.
True.
So he needs to be professional. Let's be serious. This thing of playing doesn't work. And sometimes also we really need to be firm on these players, because we see this happen over and over and over again. And when we say this, we are not bashing the guy. It's just an analysis of what we see.
And we want them to do
well.
And
we want them to do well. Because these are the guys who can help Bafana. We've got talented players.
Yeah, I agree with Musi about when he's talking about the structure of development. We go overseas and buy players. If all the teams, they have a good structure for these young boys, they start them from young age. If you remember, Dr. Kumalo, they got them at the schools. Now, if you can see at the schools now, there's no soccer.
True.
You see?
You played with some of the best players coming from the academy at Paris. You can talk about them.
Yeah, the late Gift Leremi, Tugu Makanya, Tsofela Gazi. Yeah, yo.
Sugar.
That's the benefit.
Lucas Moripe.
That's what you
from
get
development.
if you do academy stuff right.
Yes.
You get stuff like that.
No, you sound so
But if-
passionate and upset about it. But
Yeah,
you
it's
make a
because
very
we
good
love South
point.
African football. There's someone-
Yeah, for me, it's just you don't want to see almost, I can say, generational talents just fade away.
Yeah.
You know, if you watched
Yeah.
Mbule, for example, with the youth teams of South Africa, fantastic, you
Yeah.
know, and even at Supersport, fantastic. You just like, guys, we're sorted in midfield. We're sorted for the next 10 years. That's what you say.
Sure.
You're like, Nad Bafana, we're sorted for the next 10 years in midfield. You know, and then when you see the talent not coming to fruition, it is a little bit disappointing.
It definitely
That's why
is.
sort of that's why even now, if you look at South African football,
Yeah.
in particular maybe players like Mfokeng, like Shabalala, and I mean, you know my feeling about Shabalala. I think I've said it here before and I can say it again. For me, having watched him, I think just in terms of just the football gift that he has, he's a little bit better than
Wheeler, you said.
Mfokeng. It's just that Shabalala is at a bad place.
Yeah, that
Chiefs right
system
now,
is not
I don't
supporting
think
him,
Chiefs
yeah.
is a place where they can really extract the raw talent in that boy.
For sure.
If Shabalala was playing for Pirates, they will get a better of him. Chiefs are a team that is in transition. They've got problems. So if you've got young players like that who are sort of stuck in a cycle that they can't take their games to another level, everybody suffers. Everybody, I mean, Bafana. When I can tell you now, probably really is the only one of these young kids that we have now who will go to AFCON. The rest won't go to AFCON. Other countries, when we get to AFCON, same players.
Oh, and Jaden now. We can
Yeah,
have
well,
Jaden.
I hope the coach has forgiven him for that stuff he pulled in PE.
sure.
Because he misbehaved also.
Yeah.
And we have to be honest, it's the truth. He misbehaved. You don't do that at that level. He's back, I hope he's there. Yeah, so we need to be firm. We've got talented players in this league, but the mentality is that thing. Yeah. You know,
Talent alone will get you somewhere, right?
Yeah,
There's
but
the
you-
level of discipline.
there's
that
a
you need
lot
as
of
well.
players with less talent who have gone to the top and they made it big.
Yeah, 100%. And
But
then
to add on that, when you said Chabalala, really, I disagree with you.
Guboni
In terms of
doesn't-
talent.
You can't compare them. I never.
I just feel.
No, yeah, according to you, but you can't
See,
compare
now we
them.
going you.
I just
I
feel it's a better-
disagree.
I just feel it's a
Yeah.
better- I just feel it's a more
You know
gifted
what?
footballer.
You know what I
He's-
think?
he's-
Let's
they're
bring
not
in the
getting better.
analyst.
Yeah,
Tell us,
disagree.
you know better. What do you
Can't.
think? Musi?
Yeah, really good youngsters, both of them.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, really, it's just for me, he's top tier.
Yeah.
And you know, and again, maybe that goes into saying to what Mahlatse is saying about where he's playing.
Yeah.
And maybe the situation is ideal for him currently where he is in his development. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd take him.
The president
No, I like them
wins.
both. I like them both. I like them both. I think he's a good player. But yeah,
Unfortunately,
they're
you're
not getting the
outvoted
best
on
out of
this
him.
one,
Yeah.
Mahlatse Mphahlele, but it's okay. Nino, just before we wrap it up, you've got a tournament that's coming up soon. So clearly, youngsters is something that you're also passionate about. Talk to us about the tournaments that you are planning.
Yeah, the tournament that started last year, it was under 19. Now I'm doing under 21. Affiliation fee is 2,000. First prize is 20,000. Second prize is 6,000. Third prize is only a jersey.
Do you have an age? I need to come.
Yeah, under 21. And
First prize is how much? How much is first prize?
20,000.
Musi, let's put the team together.
Yeah, second prize is
youngsters.
6,000.
I will take the
Where's it
money.
going to be?
In Soshanguve Primary School, Fugadi Primary School in Soshanguve, Block TT. And my intention why I'm doing this, because of, if you can see in Soshanguve, there's those boys now, they are not playing soccer, they are busy with trucks. I'm taking them out of the street so that at least there's no player in Soshanguve. That it was myself and Lekwati, others they are not there. You see, now we want to motivate these young boys to come and play soccer.
And there's been a long time since we really had a player from a township.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
But if you can see in Soshanguve, there is captains. If you can see, Majens Motale is from Pretoria. It was captain for Pirate.
Right.
The late Bazooka Sishen was captain. Lagi Lekwati. Dan Malisela. Myself in Vodacom Challenge, I was a captain. You see?
sir.
Yeah, now we want these youngsters to come. And after that, the legend are going to play to curtain raise for these young boys.
Ooh, I'm looking
So
forward to it.
if I can get a team, I can get a curtain raise.
Yeah, you can come and play.
You wanna go play
If
with the
Musi
legends?
want to come, Musi must come and play there.
No, we'll definitely be
You
there.
can coach you. You want to be a coach?
No, I'll coach, but just to go play this time around. But I mean, Musi, full-time social golfer is what you say you are. But you're
I
back.
think Chloe, before you go to the golf, you must just tell us a little bit about where he was, man.
Yes, that's what I'm getting to. How was
Okay.
you? I know the snow was great from what I saw on your
Very cold,
socials.
yeah.
But how was your stay in Iran?
It was, I think it was a bit up and down. You know, it had its moments of its challenging moments as well as its good moments. And obviously, the reason we went there is because the team was not doing well.
Yeah.
You know, if you get hired after 7-8 games, it's because whatever was planned for did not come out. So we had objectives to set while we got there. You know. But as we got there already, games were coming left, right, and center. You know, Champions League, Asian Champions League against Hilal. You see the squad of Hilal; it's insane. You know, again, Al Ahly, our former team in Saudi as well, as well as trying to recover in the league. You know, so it was a good stay, short but a good stay, and it was always good just to be back in professional football at that level. And I think it's always a benefit to see a different culture and the way a different footballing culture, you know. So there's nothing but benefits from getting that exposure.
I wanted to find out as well, because I remember the last time you were here, we were talking about Egyptians and really the footballing passion.
Yeah.
So if you could paint a picture for us in terms of what it was like in Iran, how's the food, and basically just paint the overall picture of your stay there.
So firstly, the Esteghlal where we were is a very big team. If in terms of numbers, they have about 30 million supporters, you know, which is still smaller than Al Ahly, who have 70 million. But even if you look at just Instagram, for example, their Instagram is 4.4 million, you know, and in South Africa, you know, we get to 1,900,000, and they're very passionate about their football. Unfortunately, the team is going through whatever challenges it's going through. But if you look at Iran as a country in the world, they rank 19th. If you look at the national team and you look at where their players are playing, Inter Milan, all across Europe, you know. So they have a very good footballing culture, but football actually is not, I would say, is not the biggest sport in Iran. Wrestling is.
Really?
Yeah, wrestling is.
Do they actually wrestle, or it's like fake wrestling?
Not WWE, like Olympic style Greco-Roman wrestling.
My
you
goodness.
know, when you drive on the street, billboards are playing live wrestling matches.
That's
you know,
incredible.
you see guys with the cauliflower ears who are either former or current wrestlers, or also powerlifting is very big there.
Lovely.
You know, so with their isolation, I think they've done really well. The food is, the food. I just ate a lot of chicken. Just let me put it that way. I ate chicken
To be safe.
for 4 months. I ate chicken. For 4 months, literally all I ate was chicken.
Why?
Just, you know, things just don't taste the same. You know, like the beef doesn't taste like our beef. You know, our beef is really good. You know,
And the lamb?
the lamb is okay. It's not like ours. You know, it's just maybe I'm used to what I'm used to.
For sure.
But also, it's very. People don't know that Iran is not Arabic. It's Persian. So they don't understand Arabic. They don't speak Arabic. So it was different as different can be for us, you know.
Sure.
So they speak Farsi, you know, which is another language by itself. But I felt really welcomed by the people around us, by the players, by the coaching staff. And even though the stay was short, the messages that we've gotten from players who've sent us messages when we left, you know, it shows that we did have an impact.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you for sharing that with us. And how long are you going to be golfing before?
So
we
yesterday
let you
I
go?
had my first official lesson yesterday. Shout out Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
So we can't ask you about your, what do they call it?
My handicap.
Your handicap yet.
You can. It's gone down from
Is
26.
it?
My handicap's gone down from 26 to 25. And soon I'll be under 20s. I'm sure.
You're getting
Yeah,
there.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Nino, what are you getting up to since he's golfing?
No. Bike.
Oh, you're a biker?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Harley
Super
Davidson? No?
Super.
Super bikes?
Yeah.
Okay, number one Tsotsi.
Oh, what I'm
Yeah.
Generally junkie.
When you're writing, that's all you're doing. Huh? You're just
I
writing.
chase footballers for
Man,
stories.
Zizi.
Zizu. I don't tell you, Zizu. I don't tell you.
You see?
Yeah.
Yes, I do
Zizu,
already.
nobody want any
Honest,
parts
I
in
do.
You said me already.
Yeah, he's just saying it because the
I
cameras
once
are on.
played at with Prashek Skuman.
Yeah.
We were curtain raising for my Manipuri final.
Okay.
So he just sits in the circle there. He doesn't move. So I stopped playing. I was just marveling at this man. Said, "What this guy?" And when he plays, he talks.
Yeah.
You didn't think, why are you in my space? I could be there.
No. The things that he did with the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. So when I was thinking to myself, this guy when he was younger, how good was he?
And I'll pass.
I don't know. I was playing against him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, they made us run like men.
But how couldn't you mark a person who's just in the circle?
It is difficult.
I get in mind, I'm telling you. I've been
Ah,
saying.
look at more.
It's very difficult. So yeah, I'm just gonna be in there and just spread the passes and
Spread the pass.
yeah, you guys must run. If you don't know what to do, you can bring it to me.
Oh, okay. That's how we wrap up the Arena Sports Show. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.
Ciao.
Ciao.